Any questions, please?
Hi, everyone. This is Scarlett Johnson with Unleashed, presented by Moms for Liberty. And hopefully you can hear, as you can see, I am in DC. I am in the White House press room. It's a little loud right here right now because it's Sunday and there's a lot of different tours that go through the White House during some downtimes. And right now the president is in the Oval Office. And so a lot of folks that do these White House tours, they can't get into the actual West Wing. So they get this part of the tour where they get to come through the White House press briefing room. And now you kind of get a little bit of a tour of what it's like. I'm sitting back here. I've got my little microphone, and I thought I would go live and give a sneak peek of what we're going to be showing you tomorrow. And it's great. It's a great interview tomorrow with Ella Frei, who is the 16-year-old New Richmond teenage girl that has been fearless and fighting for girls bathrooms, basically the existence of them, because they're going the way of the dinosaur because of woke policies. And the Trump administration has made it very clear that Title IX protections extend to girls, that they and only that there are two sexes, male, female, and that girls deserve to have their own private spaces, their own private bathrooms, shower rooms, locker rooms, and that they have the right to participate in sex segregated sports. And to that end, in a rural town in New Richmond, Wisconsin, it was discovered just in January of this year, 2026, that there was a secret bathroom policy that allowed boys into the girls' bathrooms. When it was discovered, parents were enraged. And I can give you an example. I want to show you. This is Ella Frei, who is speaking to her school board in New Richmond, Wisconsin. Now, mind you, there are hundreds of adults present, and this is being recorded. The school district does not record school board meetings. They are not transparent. However, there were good citizens of New Richmond who did record, and we live streamed. We had hundreds of thousands of views of this small town school board meeting. And you can see right now, I'm going to add to stage Ella Frei. She's speaking to her school board. She's 16 years old, just 16 years old. And she is talking to her school board and telling them, I don't want boys in girls' spaces.
Right, Ella.
Hello, my name is Ella Frei, and I'm a junior at New Richmond High School. I'm honestly really nervous to be standing here tonight. I never thought I would have to speak at a school board meeting about something like this. I'm here because I'm scared and I don't know what else to do. When I first found out that a biological boy was using the girls' bathroom, I felt uncomfortable, then I felt anxious, and then embarrassed, and now I mostly just feel fear. That fear is so strong that most days I don't use the bathroom at school anymore. I hold it in all day until I get home. I know that's not healthy. I know it can cause problems like infections, and that scares me too. But I feel like I have no other choice. The office did tell me I could ask for a single stall bathroom pass, but even that is really stressful. I feel nervous walking into the office and asking for it. I feel worried and that people are judging or thinking I'm causing problems. It makes me feel singled out and embarrassed just for wanting privacy. There are also things girls go through physically that boys can't. There are certain times of the month when girls genuinely need to use the bathroom more than often. That is just a part of being female. Having to manage that while also worrying about a boy being in the bathroom is humiliating and stressful in a way that is really hard to explain unless you are a girl. I am 16, I am a junior, I'm older, and this is still really overwhelming for me. I keep thinking about the freshman girls and the underclassmen. I have talked to younger girls who are terrified to use the bathroom. Some of them are even getting bullied or made fun of because they feel uncomfortable. That is not fair, and it really hurts to see the school not stepping in to stop that. This is also difficult for me because of my faith. I believe in God created man and woman differently and intentionally. Being told I have to ignore that makes me feel like my beliefs don't matter. I'm also an athlete. I love sports. I work really hard, and I worry about what these policies could mean for girls' sports safety in the future. But honestly, the biggest thing I want to say tonight is this. Girls should not have to stand in front of the adults and beg to feel safe at school. That should already be guaranteed. Adults are supposed to protect kids, not put us in situations where we feel scared, embarrassed, or ignored. I'm asking you, please listen to the girls in this district. Please protect our privacy, our safety, and our dignity, because right now, a lot of us feel like we are being forgotten. Thank you.
So that was amazing. That was so inspiring. Hard to believe she's just 16 years old. And her simple, really honest, and heartfelt request that just, can I please have my privacy? That a girls' bathroom in high school is a place where girls want to be able to go to the bathroom and just be with girls. Women, women don't want to share bathrooms with men. It's even more difficult as a teenage girl. Teenage girls, it's awkward. You know, they struggle sometimes just changing in front of other girls in the locker room or shower room. They definitely do not want to change as some boy is ogling them, and that is exactly what is happening. Um, this we need to operate on in the realm of reality, and that there is biological reality, and we cannot ask these girls to pretend that something wrong is something right. We cannot demand that they participate in a fairy tale and a lie, especially if that thing that they're asked to participate in violates their deeply held religious beliefs and the values with which they are being raised by their parents. This just is wrong. I want to play another clip of Ella. This was in New Richmond, where after we had an event where I drove there. New Richmond is on the border of Minnesota, and we had an event where we discussed Title IX and protecting girls' spaces and sports and transparency and education, parental rights, all of those wonderful things. And so here's a quick clip of talking to Ella again, and she's just amazing.
Walk out there, and whatever they say, you just let it flow off you. You have your opinion, they have theirs. You respect that. First found out, I was like, oh my gosh, I was telling everyone. I said, Mom, Riley Gaines just reposted this video, and I had to make my own Twitter account because I've been off that because there's a lot of hate and stuff like that, so I stay off it. I made my own Twitter account. I saw it for myself, and it was just unbelievable. That was also great news, and I was super excited to hear about that. My mom was excited. Everyone was excited. It was like a mood changer. You in a bad mood, and you hear that, and you're just like, what? No way. And yeah, I'm really grateful. I'm thankful that one little speech can go out to many people and inspire and be heard by not just the people in my community, but everyone who's watching in this country, I guess. But it was the teachers. They thought like this isn't important. I think the protest was kind of like telling our school this is important to us. It's not just something on how we feel. Our emotions like are valuable, they're worth something. And I think it was just kind of like we're taking the next step because nobody else will. And it did get a lot of eyes on us. It kind of showed that like our opinions matter, education matters as well, but we're willing to leave that like space to protest what our emotions are. And they're really supportive. They understood like our opinions and stuff. But I think it was to open the eyes to more people. Like this is a serious topic, and nobody else was taking it serious. They just thought it was like a little protest, and it was a huge turnout. It was crazy. I was so nervous. My hands were shaking. I could barely speak. My throat was kicking out. After I was done, I felt like I was gonna cry. I don't know why. I was happy. Everyone was standing up clapping, but it was just like, what just happened? And also, like I was sitting on a side where there was people that didn't believe in what I believed in, but that's fine. Like you have your own opinion. I had a lot of friends that were too scared to go up and speak. I mean, I was scared, but I was willing to take the backlash, whatever was coming. I'm used to it. I don't care what people say. So I said, okay, you guys don't want to speak. I'll speak for us. And with that, a lot of people were scared about how other people would view you and stuff like that. And I just wanted to talk for all the girls, for the future girls that are coming, because the middle school isn't looking any better. Especially for the freshmen that are too scared to talk because you're underclassmen and this is all new and you probably thought this is normal, this is how high school acts. No, it's not. And I think me speaking for everyone in the district was very empowering for women, especially because there wasn't a lot of people that were willing to speak for the young girls like me. As I was speaking, as everyone else was speaking, they wouldn't look at me. They wouldn't like hold eye contact. The bathrooms is just the first thing that comes. And then you have the sports and then you have locker rooms. And if we can stop one right now, then it shows that we're not afraid to stop the many to come in the future.
That's 100% true. The bathrooms, just the beginning. Soon it would be locker rooms, shower rooms, and athletic teams. You have to just keep fighting right now. The great news after this board meeting, and actually there was another board meeting right after that, but after the just tremendous display of parents and the organization of moms with the help of Moms for Liberty, but this was really an effort of the parents of the community and the girls standing up and speaking out, and girls and boys leading a respectful and peaceful protest, a protest against allowing boys in the girls' bathrooms in the school, in the high school. All of that, and a lot of social media posts that were shared by libs of TikTok and Riley Gaines and several big accounts. The Trump administration announced in March that they were launching a Title IX investigation into the school district of New Richmond, Wisconsin. This was a huge win. This was the first Title IX investigation of violations of Title IX in regards to the privacy and safety of girls and their private spaces in Wisconsin. So we're so grateful to the Department of Education, the Office of Civil Rights, and the Trump administration for that huge win. But even more, there was a school board race. There's a school board race, and the candidate that won got the overwhelming number of votes and who kicked off the school board president, the guy that was, against these girls, the guy that was saying, oh, there's nothing we can do. We have to allow the boys in the girls' bathroom. Well, he lost. And the candidate that was supported by Moms for Liberty and by all sane members of the community, she won. And she had the most votes. And her story is just really compelling. So again, this wasn't a political issue. This was about just what is morally right and the return focus on education in schools. Let's focus on the proficiency rates and getting kids reading and doing math, science, history, all of the things at a grade proficient level. That's just the bare minimum. And then we would like to focus on getting even above that. So I'm going to play let's see, we've got another great clip that this is from Fox News interview. So just last week, another big, huge win when it was announced that there was a federal investigation launched, a private action by the parents of New Richmond, Wisconsin, and the students for violating Title IX. So here, I'm going to bring this up. This is just a short clip. You can see the full clip. This is, you could go to Fox News with the here's Faulkner, and you'll see Cory Brewer from the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. And of course, Ella. So let's bring that up.
Yeah. High school is a very hard thing. So it isn't just a place where you go to use the restroom. It's a place where you go to touch up your hair, touch up your makeup, cry with your friends. So when I found out that that was getting violated and taken away from me, I lost that sense of safeness. So now I'm using the single stall restroom alone. Like none of that, the confidence and privacy that I deserved, that I had before, that has just been ripped away.
That's just a short clip from a tremendous interview on Fox News where Ella went with her mom. She was live in studio. And what we talk about this, you're going to see in the interview, we talk about what it was like for her to have this experience. But after the experience, okay, after being on national TV and all this attention, there's also a downside. And there were some haters. Because of that, I wanted to put out a post, and I talked to Ella's mom and said, I want to put out a post just celebrating Ella, her courage, her bravery, and what she did and what it meant to the local community, to Wisconsin, and to this country. Because this young girl, this 16-year-old girl, having the courage to speak out caused real change. You're going to hear in the interview that I will air tomorrow when I talk to lawyers how important it is for the students to speak out, for the students to say, hey, I was harmed. Hey, something's happening. It's not easy. It's not easy to be a teenager and to be in the spotlight for something that's as controversial as this. It's not easy for anyone, but particularly a 16-year-old girl. She has just been such an inspiration to me and so many others. The post that I put out had millions of views, thousands and thousands of shares. It was liked by Elon Musk, reposted by just everyone. XXXY, Jennifer Say, Riley Gaines, just huge. So much like appreciation, so much love was sent her way that she and her mom they were overjoyed. And from there on, she has been receiving letters, mailed, emails, just notes of encouragement, stuffed animals. She has had an outpouring of love. And that's exactly what she needed to show that those five woke women hiding in their basement, sending these like mean things, they are few. They're loud, but they're few. But the majority are with her. There's polling data to show it, okay? Because it's just so obvious. But just talk to anyone. It doesn't matter what their politics are. It doesn't matter who they voted for. They know that it is wrong and it is unsafe and it is against the law to allow grown boys and men into the girls' bathrooms. It's just not a smart thing to do, and it's not right. Girls have a right to privacy. So before we get to the interview, I wanted to play another little short video that Ella has just created.
Speaking up about something at my school would reach millions of people, but it did, and I'm still trying to process all of this. I honestly don't even know what to say except for thank you. Thank you for everyone who has prayed for me, left positive comments, and have shared my story to people all across the country and even the world. I didn't do this for attention. I never wanted attention. I just did this because I'm a girl who wanted to feel comfortable and safe at my school again. I just want things to feel normal and to have my girls' bathroom back.
That's great. I mean, she what she says, it's so simple in 60 seconds, but so clear and so honest. Like she didn't want this kind of attention. Okay, she is a very pretty girl. She is very active in sports. She's a junior, getting ready for prom. She didn't want this. She didn't need this. She didn't have to stand up and speak to her school board. She didn't have to do all the things that she's done, to go on social media, to attend school board meetings, to go on a national news, to join a lawsuit. She didn't have to do any of these things. She and her mom and her grandparents and her brother, she describes her entire family has been behind her, supporting her, attending school board meetings, like standing behind, cheering her on as she fights. And we need more of this. She shouldn't have to be doing this, but she is. And I say, thank God she is, because it has made just a world of difference. There are those who say, you know, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She's too young. Same people are advocating for little kids, small children, to march out of school on Friday, May 1st for May Day and support just leaving school all day just so they can stand for this Marxist revolutionary day of communism. But they say, oh no, but Ella doesn't know what she's doing. Well, she actually created a video to respond to that.
People have been saying that I'm too young to have my own opinion and that I don't really understand what I'm talking about, and that's been really hard to hear, especially when those same people are spreading things about me and my mom that just aren't true. But it really hurts to see people go after my mom because she didn't push me to do any of this. If anything, she was worried more than anyone for me. This was my decision, and even with all of that, I've been seeing something really different. After I spoke out, so many moms and dads have been reaching out and looking out for me. That showed me that what I'm saying matters. Normal girls don't want boys in our bathrooms, locker rooms, or sports. That's not hate. That's just wanting to feel safe and treated fairly.
Again, slam dunk, 100% true. Normal girls do not want boys in their bathroom. Normal girls do not want to share that kind of a space with a boy. It's abnormal to say, oh yeah, that's a great idea. That is not normal. And she is a strong, smart girl that knows exactly what she's doing. And she, again, I'm so grateful and proud of her. So now I'm going to play just a 30-minute little interview that will be just some segments of it that will be re-aired tomorrow, along with a longer interview with two lawyers, Dan Lennington and Cory Brewer from the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. They are the lawyers representing the parents of New Richmond in a Title IX case, a federal case that was just announced last week. I'll put in the comments links to their complaint, very detailed. And if you are a regular watcher if you regularly watch Unleashed, we've been talking about this a lot. It is just, New Richmond, Wisconsin, a small rural town in Wisconsin, but it represents so many small towns throughout this country that are going through the exact same situation. Not all of these places have parents that are speaking up. The parents that have gone viral at their school board meetings, girls like Ella that are willing to stand up and say, There was harm done, and I am standing up for hundreds of girls in my school. Mind you, in her school right now, there are maps that that adorn the high school hallways that show the girls where they can go use a single stall bathroom. It is inconvenient. It is out of the way. It is embarrassing. They have to go trek across the campus to go to the front office and request a key. So it's very visible, very uncomfortable, and they're missing class. They're getting tardy slips, and many are just not using the bathroom. That is unacceptable. The boys have their own bathroom, but the girls do not. There are school districts that I'm here right now where they are eliminating girls' bathrooms. All girls' bathrooms are now gender neutral, but boys have bathrooms. That is a violation of Title IX, okay? A clear violation. And I am so, so glad that Wisconsin is front and center in this fight. That not only has the Trump administration initiated a Title IX investigation, but there is a federal, now there's a federal, in federal courts, there's a lawsuit. Parents and students have come together and they have said, enough, no more. So on top of it, like I said, there is one more seat for Team Sanity in New Richmond. And that's just going to keep going. That momentum is going to keep going because the parents in that community, they are not backing down. And this is what we have to do to win. You can't just say, okay, we showed up to a school board meeting. Great. We did our job. No, emails, constant, very respectful. Again, all of this done very respectfully. I can't, if you watch the school board meeting that we aired live, and I can put that down on social media, I will put links to that full meeting on YouTube. But, you know, grab some popcorn. It's a 4-hour meeting. Hundreds of people were there. They had to move it to the auditorium. They didn't just do that. There were emails, there were follow-up. And then there was a wonderful effort where there was one candidate that was on the ballot and 2 write-in candidates. Those 2 write-in candidates nearly won. They had 4 weeks to run a campaign, 4 weeks. And they nearly won in a write-in campaign. That's unheard of. Unprecedented number of votes for a write-in in the state. So they did a tremendous job. They nearly won, and they'll be running again next year. So that's good news. So a lot of good news. But on top of that, the parents and the students went to the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty and said, we want to make sure that this is taken care of. And they filed this federal lawsuit, the details of which are on the WIL website, the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty website, and I'll put a link there. But this is the way. This is the way. So thank you for tuning in. I know it's a little impromptu. I'm kneeling right now in a chair and all of this going on in the background, but I thought this was really important and a good time to air just a sneak peek of the Unleashed episode that will be going out tomorrow night. So tune into the whole thing. You'll learn a lot, and make sure that you follow us on social media and follow me as well. And we take on these really important issues, and we're winning. We're winning, but this is a marathon, not a sprint. We have a long way to go, and this is just the start. So thank you so much. And now I'm going to play the interview with Ella Frei. I am so glad to have Ella on again. And I just finished talking to the lawyers at WIL, Dan Lennington and Cory Brewer. And Ella could not be on that first interview because she has school and she has track. And what events do you do in track?
I do triple jump, long jump, pole vault, and I also do a 4x1. So I occasionally run sometimes. I'm not a huge runner though.
Oh, but you're a jumper, obviously.
Yeah, I like jumping.
And you also, and then in the fall, you play volleyball.
Yep.
Are you planning on playing collegiate sports? Or are you going to try for anything like a scholarship in any of those
I wouldn't
sports?
mind going to college for track. And my mom really wants me to go for volleyball, and I've been thinking about it. I don't know. I do it for either, really.
Yeah. Has your prom happened yet?
It's on the 25th, so next weekend.
Next weekend, do you have your dress?
Yeah, I do. I'm getting it hemmed a little bit from my grandma's friend right now, but
Yeah, my daughter's prom is this weekend, so her dress is ready. We've got hair appointments, that all of that good stuff, all of the fun stuff of high school. So big. There was big news. You were on national TV on Fox News. So tell us a little bit about that experience.
it felt unreal. I don't think it was a different type of nervous, because obviously you have like a racing nervous and like
Mhm.
school nervous when you're like presenting in front of class, but this was like a nervous I've never had before. And sitting in the chair, like waiting to be on air, because it takes a little bit. So I was like watching the news and stuff, and then it says, "And I'm here with," and then I show up on the screen. I'm like, "Oh, brother!" And then
Yes.
I don't know. I was lost for words. It's my whole mind went blank, and I didn't know what to say. But I think I
That
did a pretty
is,
good job.
you did really good. You did a really good job. And I'm going to, the clip, I'm going to play that at the end. So but you did really good. But that is totally normal. So the first time that I did, so when it's live, it's just so weird that when live, it's like your mind for 1 second can go completely blank.
Yeah.
That's a very normal reaction. And that's why I try to like memorize some certain things to get my brain going, because it's just something about doing something live national and the way how fast paced it's like you have to it's to me it's really hard. I'd much rather do this. I'd much rather talk to people in a podcast. I could talk for hours. I can interview, have no problem with that. But these like the Fox News, Newsmax, those kind of things still they scare me. Still, like they're not my favorite thing to do. They're necessary, but not my favorite. Yours was a little bit longer form with Harris Faulkner, and Cory Brewer was there. She live streamed in, and so you had at least you had Cory there, so that there was someone else taking some questions. But was it fun seeing how everything works behind the scenes?
It was really cool because I was just sitting in the chair. A lady comes in, starts putting on my mic, and other ladies putting powder all over my face.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
They do a sound check and mic check, and they tell you to sit a certain way and to move. Yep, all of that stuff. But I mean, that's a big experience for 16. How did your family, friends, people in the community, did they text you a lot? Like, I saw you on TV.
Yeah, right after my mom's phone just blew up. I go on Facebook and like one of our like friends in Richmond's posted it. Oh my goodness, she's on the news. And yeah, it was super fun. I kind of kept it a secret. So then when I told all my friends, they were like, no way. Like they were all surprised. And a lot of people have been talking about it too.
Oh yeah, a lot of people are talking. The posts they've gone viral on numerous big accounts. I posted something and that had like 2 million views, and then Elon Musk liked it. Oh, actually, I'll pull it up really fast. I have here. Let's see.
I made so many signs that night. Me and my mom were literally at the dinner table until like 10 at night making hundreds of signs.
That's a good picture. Yes, I saw. There's a photo of you like kind of laying on the floor, making like all of those signs, which is really cute. So yeah, so here, this is the post, like, and this is one of the clips. There you are, and they have that background there. And then this was from here. We could play like this here.
Because it's the school board, but it's also for us as kids, as young girls that are scared to use the restroom. That shouldn't be happening. And I'm thankful that they're able to look me in the eye, talk to me, tell me what my future is going to look like. And I'm hoping that you guys can all help my future be better than what it is right now. Thank you guys so much.
One of the reasons why I put out that post and I was talking to your mom was because I know that there are people on social media that will say some just rude and untrue things, and they hide behind, their computers. Sometimes they don't even put their own name. Oh, hold on. And so I wanted to put something out there that was I wanted to put that out there because I wanted you to see how much support you have. And there was so much support, right? Peyton McNabb reposted, Riley Gaines reposted with messages. Lots of famous people reposted and sent messages. We're with you. We'll follow you. And your X account, I have to look at how many people are following you now, but your X account went from like 3 to a pretty big account now. Like last I checked. So that's giving you already kind of a platform. You have 23,000 followers. There are people that are on X for years and don't get that many followers, but you got that many followers in a week. And so that just shows the power of your message and that you have influence. And how do you feel about that at your young age, that you are shaping a national conversation?
I feel proud to be able to be the one that gets to do it. I mean, anyone from those speeches could have been able to do it, but I'm just
No.
grateful that like I was the one that got to do all this fun stuff. It's been a crazy ride and there's been a lot of hate, but I think the love comments definitely outweigh it. I've gotten way more kind comments than I have been like when I went on the news. After that, I had so many people flooding, finding my Instagram, like positive comments they're commenting. And I was like, wow, I just feel really loved and supported. I don't know how to explain it.
That's really good. I'm glad you feel that way, because I think people can focus on the negative and not the positive, and all of the love, the affirmation that you had people reposting saying that my teenage son is not as brave as you, or I don't know if I could ever have been as brave as you at that age. And just people saying, please keep fighting, please keep standing up. What you're doing is important. And I don't think you're very special. I don't think that anyone could have said these things just the way you did. I think very authentic. You have a very authentic voice, very respectful. There's no hate in your message. You're just making a very simple statement, which is, I shouldn't have to be here. I am just a teenager, but this is my life. This is my reality. This is my bathroom, and I have the right to have privacy, and no one can tell me otherwise. And that's really important. I was talking to my friend James Lindsay, and he said something really interesting about this situation. And he's a famous podcaster, author, brilliant guy. Like this guy, he's a doctor, PhD, and he really understands political movements and philosophy. And he said that what's happening in your situation and across the country, that there are activists that need you and I and all the other women to pretend. We need to pretend that men can be women. We need to pretend that we're not afraid when a man walks into our private spaces. And we need to pretend that a man can become a woman. And the minute we're not pretending, then their whole illusion evaporates and their perception is their reality. And that's not, and they don't care that it's not fair to you. It's very much just this kind of narcissistic, like, this is about me and how I feel. And there's a political movement behind it. And really, this message that you have isn't about politics. It's just about privacy and safety. And what do you think about that?
I totally agree. My mom, like, she's like, Ella, after everything going in, you should go into politics. And I say, I just say what I believe in. Like, this whole thing hasn't been about politics. I just had a problem with it and I spoke up about it. It's not about either side. This is how I feel. I just speak how I feel.
Do you now kind of see, though, how important it is to be involved in government because these school board members, they make these important decisions, and lawmakers in our state and our congressmen, that what the legislation that they pass has a real effect on you? Is this like the first time you really kind of understood that? I know for me, and I was much older than you, but during COVID, it was the first time I realized just how impactful local elections and legislation that I watch on TV. You watch these guys debating on TV and you're like, whatever. And then suddenly it really affects you. It just hits you right between the eyes. It's not just like taxes, it's your life. It's the fact that in your world, this very strange phenomenon is happening where guys can just invade your spaces, and who knows what's next. They could be competing in your events. And then what do you do? Like you're supposed to pretend there's no biological difference between you and a boy?
Absolutely. I think one thing for me was Nourishment never made it public when we were having like school board meetings or elections. Like, it was all kind of underground. I never knew any of this was happening. And this year it was like crazy to see Nourishment, my small town, like everyone was getting out and voting. Everyone was at the school board meetings. Like, after it started to affect them. I never thought that it would happen to me, though, because you're just so used to living your daily life with nothing else to it, and then it starts to change and you realize that it's a big problem and that it needs to be fixed.
Yep. It's and that's what's more, and at your young age, to understand that and to stand up and to say something is just, it's huge. It's huge. There's so few. Look, there were some girls that spoke up at the school board meeting. There was a few other ones, but you really kind of stuck it out and you keep talking about it. And I think you never know, Ella. You don't know what 15-year-old, 16-year-old girl was watching you and who will be inspired to do the very same thing, who will think, well, if Ella could do it, then maybe I can do it and I can say something. And I think it's really important that parents stand behind their daughters when they speak out. On the left, you see that all the time. You see like in the left, they're very activist about everything. Like, you see these like the trans rights groups and how they parade their kids around and they make their kids get involved in all this political stuff. And your mom never did that to you. I don't do that to my kids. Like, we've never wanted to do that. But in this situation where there's injustice, you have to inspire and support your kids to stand up, because really, if you wouldn't have spoken out, I don't know if all of these things would be happening, because like Cory said, there are times where judges won't, they make decisions in a case because there's no children coming forward to say that I was harmed.
Yeah, I don't think I could have ever done it without the support from my family. Like, I look at the school board, I still remember it. I remember seeing my grandparents in the crowd, and I go up, I'm like,
Oh,
I'm so scared. I'm so happy you're here. And they're like, remember what God says. Like, don't be afraid. You got this. And I don't know, everyone's support. I don't think I could have done it without it.
so I didn't know that your grandparents were there too.
They stayed up
That's
past their 5 p.m. bedtime, and they were there.
Oh, that's so sweet. That is so great that you had your parents there, your brother there, your grandparents there, all there to support you, and that's amazing. That's really important. I'm sure that gave you a lot of strength, and I'm sure they've been praying for you to stay strong in all of this.
They have been. My grandparents have been telling all of their friends, and my group was like, "They're so proud of you." Like when I went to go get my prom dress fitted, she's like, "I'm so proud of you. You're doing great things. Like I can't wait to see what your future holds." And they're spreading the word.
And there are some what we call like the haters out there, and I'm continuing to research, and I've done some research on some of them. There's one, and they were at the event where I was in New Richmond, and talking to you, your mom, and a lot of people in your community. They had this little protest. As you remember, the woman walking around in costume, the Handmaid's Tale costume. And I noticed somebody out there, and then I looked on social media, and there was someone that was posting like just very nasty, like hateful things, and looked her up, and she's a literal, like she had a pentagram, like satanic, and claimed to be a witch who followed Lucifer. So that tells me we really are fighting evil. Like when the people that are against you are, and your mom and me and all that, when they when they put on their social media that they're a witch who follows Satan, that was affirmation for me that I'm on the right side. Hey, God, like, I got you.
Yeah, for sure. My mom's like, remember, like, give all your glory to God, because you wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be doing the things. I wouldn't be as brave as I was that night without God. So I'm just grateful for every moment I get.
Yes. Yeah. And so we'll rewind. So you were on the Fox News show because there was an announcement of a private action, a lawsuit filed in the federal courts on behalf of New Richmond students and parents. There was a parent association formed with the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. And you were on the talk show, and you've done a bunch of other things to talk about this, about what happened, what you faced, talking before the school board. So how do you feel about this lawsuit? Does this feel like empowering, like to take action, to stand up and go to court and really fight for what you think is right?
Yeah, I'm really excited, especially because it's public news now. Because for a while it was just kind of private. But I think for now, like everyone knows now, like not even like the haters, the people I know, they all know like this isn't ending here. It's going farther, and we're taking action to it. And I'm really excited to see what happens as the outcome.
Yeah, it was a surprise. It was a surprise for even me. It was, I was told a surprise is going to happen, and I knew you were going to talk to Fox News, but I was hoping for something like this, but I was really happy to hear the news and glad that it could finally be out there. And on top of that, the Trump administration Office of Civil Rights just last month had put on notice to the New Richmond School Board that they were doing a Title IX investigation. And it was largely, you were quoted in that, in the press release. They talked about you and how your speech and the protest that you were part of, the group that led a protest in your school. And that was cited as a reason why the Trump administration launched this investigation. So that you must feel that all of this must feel very, very good. Like you are one of the few people that you're seeing the wheels of justice turn and do good things.
Absolutely. And like I said, it feels crazy to be the face of everything. Like there is a lot of people that were agreeing with me, but it feels great to be speaking on behalf of them because a lot of people are scared. A lot of people can't do it. And there's some kids that are scared and their parents aren't supporting them and they're leading them in the wrong direction. And to that, I'm just grateful that I'm able to speak to them and maybe motivate them to do their own movement in their school.
Are you happy that a school board member that you can't vote, but that you supported Christy Wayland? Were you very excited to hear when you heard the news that she won and she'd gotten the most votes?
Me and my mom were going to our neighbors. I was writing little notes. I'm like, please help me out. Like, put Christy's little card for when it was voting day. My boyfriend woke up and went and voted in his PJs, saw some teachers. Everyone was voting that day. I was really happy to see that she won.
Yeah, and that she got the most votes.
It was well deserved.
It was well deserved. She beat out the school board president. And his loss was well deserved too. He did deserve that. There's more issues going on in your school than this bathroom issue. Like your mom has expressed that she wants your education to be better. She wants it to be better for your brother. There's a lot of other concerns, and she'd like to see those addressed. Is that what you're hoping, that they could just stop with this dumb policy of letting boys and girls bathrooms and things could just get back to normal, but also get better?
Yeah, that's what I hope will happen from everything that's going on.
Yeah. And before all of this, Ella, did you ever did you notice things in your school that you thought, well, that's kind of political, or that did you see anything in curriculum where you maybe even weren't uncomfortable, but just kind of noticed that things always seem to be slanted a certain way?
I think for sure. And with everything going on, now it's like, it's not just the topics and stuff, it's like teachers too. Like with everything going on, there's teachers now expressing their side. And my mom's like, well, I always quote my mom because she's really good mom, whatever. But she always says it's always a good teacher when you don't know what their beliefs are.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to see all these teachers. Some are the ones that are leaving hate comments about me. And it just feels like hurtful because our school always cares about like loving your students, caring about your students and whatever, all of that. And lately from my teachers, I've been feeling like hated and dismissed. So I think with everything going on, I'm excited to see what Christy does because I think everything will be swapped around. Every issue will be solved, transparency, because not even just the bathroom stuff. There was so much more going on at like the middle school and high school recently that the school is still like not being transparent about. They just say we have a problem and we're fixing it. Meanwhile, it's something crazy going on at the middle school.
What was going on at the middle school?
There was a shooting threat and the school board sent out emails saying that there's a problem and that they're working on it.
And they didn't tell parents that was what the problem was?
No,
wow. So there is a transparency issue.
Yeah, we had to hear it from Eli. My mom never knew anything about it. Eli was like telling me everything about it, and yeah.
So there's a shooting threat at the middle school, and an email goes out that doesn't even describe what happened. It just said there was a problem and we dealt with it. That's not okay. That's not okay.
I know.
What else happened?
Well, we just have like a bunch of, recently at the high school, we've had a bunch of like ambulances coming through. I'm not sure, like at track practice today, we just had a ambulance pull up to the school. And then during school, we had a couple ambulances pull up to the school for something, but we don't know what's going on. We're all just learning in class. And
Yeah, I still don't even know, but
And parents feel like they don't know what's happening, that there's too many
yeah.
secrets. There's too many secrets.
Mhm.
And so you said that there are teachers posting comments about you on social media.
Yeah, on the NR Students Against Moms for Liberty, they'll go and they'll comment hateful things on those. And then I go and I'm like, wait, isn't this isn't this person? And I'm like, okay, I guess. And then
So
I
yeah,
see him at school and I'm like, you, I don't know. I don't know how they don't feel bad about it.
that's awkward. That's definitely
Yeah.
awkward. I mean, that's awkward for an adult. So this is the New Richmond students, quote students, okay? Because it's more like the New Richmond teachers against Moms for Liberty, not students, but they call themselves like the students. This is a group that is comprised of mostly of another group, this Indivisible New Richmond group or Indivisible St. Croix, which is a radical left-wing group. You probably don't know too much about that, but other moms listening know what I'm talking about when I say indivisible, because we've got one here in my area. They're all over Wisconsin, all over the country. And so that's a private chat though, but there's this private group and then there's a public group, and this group attempted to engage in illegal campaign activity until I pointed it out. They were purchasing signs for school board members. They were running against Christie and the two write-ins that we supported, both of whom were parents in your school district that spoke out. Mary, who went viral talking about what was happening at your school. And they came very, very close to winning. And these were write-in candidates, so that's really hard. And they became really close. And I know Mary has signaled that she might run again, and I hope that she does. But so they were putting out these school board signs, but they did not create a campaign finance committee. They didn't go through the proper legal channels, and they had to rectify that. But this group is posting negative comments about you, Ella, and it's comprised of some teachers that are on the payroll of New Richmond. That's very unethical. They may have the free speech right to say that, but that's very unethical. And considering that the New Richmond School District is being investigated by the Trump administration and is now being sued in federal court, I think that's a very unwise choice for school staff to be harassing and bullying young girls that are their students in the school. That's really wrong and inappropriate. And I'm sorry that you're going through that.
It's okay. Like I said, the love is definitely outweighing the hate, so it kind of just rolls off my shoulder when I see all that, because then I'm still getting tons of DMs, comments
Yes.
like, we love you, keep going,
Yes.
you're in the right, we're proud of you. And that's what just keeps me going.
Are there teachers that support you, that have been,
Yeah.
kind to you? Good.
But it's definitely not public in comment sections. It's like hey, good job, I saw you on the news, or I had a teacher write me a letter saying you're doing great, keep going, and put some inspirational quotes from women out on the card, and I thought that was really sweet.
That's really nice. That's really nice. That makes me feel a lot better. But I do wish that there was public support too, like, hey, leave her alone, or hey, we got you. But that it's definitely disturbing to me that there are public employees that are part of a group like that, New Richmond Against Moms for Liberty, because first of all, they tried to claim that we were behind everything, and that's not even true. The candidates, they did their own work. They worked really hard. We tried our best to support them, but they did all of the work. This was 100% the work of parents and community members and the candidates themselves. And, you know, it bothers me. These kinds of mistruths and falsehoods do bother me, but you're right. The majority of the community was very, very supportive, and the online community is very supportive of you. So do you think after all of this that you would consider looking into journalism or getting involved in more public speaking? I know that it would be great to connect you more. You've met Jennifer Say, but to connect you with Jennifer Say and the girls with XXXY, because they know 100% how you feel. They've been the highs and the lows and the hate and the love. So I could definitely see you being somebody who has influence and that goes and talks to public groups and spreads awareness and is sort of an ambassador.
Well, I did want to go to college for communications, radio, sports broadcasting, stuff like that. So with everything going on, I think my public speaking, like this has been a jumpstart for sure. Because if you would have asked me like a year ago to go on and speak at the school board to do all this, I would have said no. But I think that this is helping me a lot for my future as well, besides everything else that's going on.
Well, you definitely have a future in public speaking and in this sort of activism. You know, you've already done so much. I could see you doing a lot more. That it's just that, not that you don't have any fear, but that you keep moving and working despite the fear. And that's what's really important. So I'm really grateful for you, Ella. I'm so happy that you have had the courage to speak out and that you continue to do so. And I look forward to seeing you again. I know I'll be in the St. Croix area this summer working with Jolene and working on some different things. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you again.
Me too.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Ella.
Thank you.
New Richmond schools left parents and young girls no choice but to go to court and sue to end this ridiculous policy allowing biological boys into the girls' bathroom, end of quote. Now, one of those students has also spoken out on social media. Watch this.
People keep talking about bathrooms like it's a political issue, but bathrooms in high school are very important spaces for women. For girls, bathrooms aren't just bathrooms. Having a male in that space takes away the privacy that girls deserve. Bathrooms should be a sanctuary at school for girls, not a place where we feel uncomfortable or scared.
The district now faces a federal Title IX investigation. In focus now, let's meet her, Ella Frei, the high school junior you just saw in that viral video. And Cory Brewer is the deputy counsel for the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty. Ella and Cory, welcome in focus. Ella, I want to start with you. You got very specific about, what privacy means for young women in those spaces. Why did you feel like you need to do that, and what has the response been?
In high school, privacy is one thing that all girls need most of the time, and in the bathroom is the one place where you should feel most privacy. And when I saw that was getting taken away, it made me feel really uncomfortable, nervous, and anxious.
And what's the response been? Any of the other students saying anything at this point?
Well, a lot of students have been speaking out. We did a walkout protest. We've been silently protesting by using the single-stall bathrooms that they have been provided, and the school has put up maps for students to use the bathroom if they feel uncomfortable in the public one.
Cory, I want to ask you about those workarounds. So the school district, I guess,